Alright, so John Colo at DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you guys. I'm so excited. I'm unboxing the all-new Nama Juicer C2. Technically, it's not just a new juicer. It's pretty much the same juicer as the Nama J2. But the C2 model is a combo model. It's the convertible blender juicer. So yes, this juicer is a blender. This blender is also a juicer. World's first in the United States. The slow juicer combined with a high-speed blender in one appliance. And that's what I'm going to be unboxing for you guys today. So it comes in one ginormous box, and we're going to tip it up to the side to show you guys how it's packed. Actually, in this one ginormous box here, as we open this up, you can see where we reveal two boxes. On the inside, you have box number 1 and box number 2. So go ahead and get these boxes out and show you guys what's inside. All right, so as you guys can see, we got the boxes out. Box number 1 and box number 2, they all have components of this juicer blender combo C2 machine. So let's open it up. Now, before I open this up, I want to let you guys know all this packaging is compostable. You could even use it for sheet mulching in your garden. It does have some nice artwork, and this is all printed with water-based inks. And even the top, it used to have a plastic handle. It now has a paper handle that is fully compostable as well. So definitely kudos to Nama on their amazing packaging. But the packaging gets better on the inside. Before we get inside, I'm going to show you guys this little label here on the side. It basically says it's BPA free, and this is on both boxes. So the juicer and the blender, BPA free. Let's go ahead and show you guys what's in box number 1. Open this up, and as you guys can see, we got a number of different components on the inside. It says it's always a good day for a juice, NamaWell.com. So let's go ahead and open each one of these boxes to show you guys what's contained on the inside. All right, first coming out, it says start here, so that's where you're going to start. You're going to open up this box here, and let's see what's inside. As you guys can see, you got a whole bunch of instructions here. There's a bunch of different manuals, and here's the thing, guys. This juicer blender combo is perfect if you don't already own a juicer, or if you don't already own a blender, or if you want to minimize the amount of appliances you have. You hate having a separate juicer and a blender. It takes up a lot of counter space. You can now get rid of both those, right? And then get one juicer blender that's going to take one space on the counter. And we'll show you guys this in a little bit. Anyways, there's lots of books in here to educate you, because Nama is more than just a company trying to sell you guys juicers. They're a company that wants to encourage you guys to eat plant forward. What does plant forward mean? That means they want you to eat more plants and eat more plants and plant food, such as fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and other foods in your diet. And to me, the C2 juicer blender is the best appliance to do that, because it combines the best two technologies in kitchen appliances to maximize your fruit and vegetable consumption in the healthiest ways possible. So NamaWell is more than just a juicer company trying to sell you guys a juicer. They're trying to create a relationship with you. I mean, after all, they are a family-based business. I know the CEO personally that I correspond with on a weekly basis. But they want to educate you guys and get you guys to eat more plants, and that's what they're trying to do with this machine, right? Besides providing the machine, many people may buy the machine. How do I use it? They don't know how to use it, right? That's where NamaWell basically outshines every other juicer company out there, because they're putting their money where their mouth is, and they're putting a lot of education, not only included with the machine, but also online education in courses that they're going to gift you guys when you buy the C2. The courses, unfortunately, are not included with the Nama J2, so that's a reason you should upgrade to the C2 if you are considering buying the J2. It includes a Juicing 101 class and Blending 101 class that not only have 5 and 14-day meal plans made up in conjunction with a nutritionalist and a chef, but more importantly, will train you guys and share with you guys the basics about juicing and the basics about blending if you've never done it before. Of course, they also got the booklets that come with the machine, including the standard instruction booklet for how to use the C2. Next up, we have a smoothies, soups, and sauces recipe book. This has around 40 different recipes on how to specifically use the blender to maximize the amount of plants you guys are eating in your diet. Next up, I encourage all you guys to read this. I know guys don't generally read instructions, but this is the one, if you don't read anything else, read this one. This is the Getting Started Guide for the C2 Juicer and Blender. This will give you all the essentials so that you could jump right in and start using your juicer and blender today. And then finally, of course, they got a juices, nut milks, and sorbets recipe book, and this is for use with the juicer parts that are included with this unit. Will give you like 35 different recipes on make different digestive juices, nourishing juices, pineapple, sunshine juices, ABC juices. We'll teach you guys how to make nut milks with the juicer, as well as frozen fruit sorbets using the included sorbet attachment. So that's all the books there. You get a bunch of those books. All right, so there's a chamber set coming out. And what we have here is there is no plastic being used in the packaging for the Nama C2 juicer. And if you guys appreciate companies that are trying to be eco-friendly, right, then the Nama is the one you want to buy. I hate when I get a cheap Chinese juicer and it's packed in styrofoam, one of the worst things for the environment. Nama, on the other hand, is now using these bamboo reusable drawstring bags that then now you can reuse after you get your juicer in it to shop for produce, to take on a trip, to pack your bag with cool different fruit and vegetable design with cotton drawstrings. So that's really cool. All the major parts are packed in different size bamboo reusable bags. Of course, now we have the chamber set, and you're thinking, John, that chamber set looks just like the Nama J2 chamber set. And you would be right. All the parts, except for the bowl and the auger, which have a little bit different fittings to fit on the motor base, are identical to the J2. I've been testing this for the last several weeks, and the performance of this machine is identical to the J2. So if you already own a J2 and you have a separate blender, you don't, guys, need to buy this. You're not going to get any different or better performance with the C2 model than the J2. That being said, if you're considering a J2, personally, I would rather get this instead. After using this for several weeks, I'm like, man, this thing, I like it better than the J2, and we'll show you guys why I like it a little bit better. So this has the same hopper and juicing screen as the standard Nama. And of course, the claim to fame on this is the hopper here that you could fill up with produce, turn it on, and let the machine do all the work while you walk away and let the machine juice for you automatically, which I'm going to show. Of course, they share with you guys the layering guide, very important on how to use it. And the most important thing on this machine is they added a new label on the back here that when you move this, it kind of it breaks, and it says, juicer not working, proper alignment of the chamber and hopper is required. Please refer to page 15 in the user manual for more details. That's the most important thing. A lot of people assemble this wrong. They think they got a defective juicer, and people get quite upset when they spend a good amount of money. I haven't seen one defective Nama J2 juicer yet from the comments I've heard, but I have heard many people that assemble it wrong and then it doesn't come on and then they're a bit upset. So we got the chamber set here, and then we got one big box over here, and guess what it is? It's the blender jug. Once again, this blender jug is packed in a reusable bamboo bag. All right, and here is the BPA-free blender jug coming right out. All right, look at that nice blender jug. And then, of course, in the box here, you have a tamper, so you could tamp things in to make frozen fruit sorbets and nut butters. And I think also in here, we have the cleaning brush to clean the juicer, and you could use it also to clean the blender. Here it is, box number 2. We got more boxes on the inside. Once again, all this is compostable, water-based inks, and inside this box, we got the motor set, the strainers, and the container set, and it says it's always a good day for a smoothie. All right, so the main unit in here and the most heavy is this motor set, so let's go ahead and pull that out first. All right, so inside the motor set box, you have a nice heavy-duty IEC cord. I really like that you have a detachable cord on these units. And then coming out the inside, once again, we have another reusable bamboo bag coming right out. And we got the motor base right here. Check it out. Nama C2 motor base. This includes the one motor for the juicer and the blender coming right out. All right, so here is the brand new C2 motor base. This is a combo motor, can be used at a low speed of 50 revolutions per minute when you're using the juicing attachment, and up to 26,500 RPM when using the blender attachment. It also has the classic NAMA dial knob with some instructions that we'll go over in a little bit. So we got two more boxes to unbox. Next, we got the strainers. So unlike the NAMA J2, the NAMA C2 not only includes the coarse hole sieve, which in the NAMA J2 it's called the Smoothie Attachment. I would prefer to call this a coarse hole sieve or a screen because it has larger holes. It does not necessarily do a smoothie function because it still ejects pulp, but it will put more pulp in your juice. That's why I like this attachment for making fruit juices, so you could have even a juice that has more pulp in it that can be healthy for you. Link down below to my video where I discuss this attachment and I discuss more about juicing fruits. Now the other thing this machine includes that the J2 does not include is the Sorbet Attachment. I'm so glad that NAMA is including the Sorbet Attachment with the C2 machine. I thought they should have included it with the J2, but they couldn't really do that because they made it as an afterthought, but they now are including it with the C2. Guys, this is normally a $50 value that's included with the C2, so if you had to buy this and the J2, right, this unit is only $200 more, so for $200 more you get a whole complete blender plus the education, the online education. So literally, it's about $100 more if you look at it that way to upgrade to the C2 to not only have my favorite juicer, the NAMA J2 in the C2 package, but also a world-class blender that keeps up with other similar quality blenders. All right, last up we got a container set, and this is where it's a little bit different than the NAMA J2 as well. So let's go ahead and see what we got. Once again, we're packed in the reusable bamboo bags that can be used for shopping for produce. Let's go ahead and open this up. As you guys can see inside here, we have two collection cups. We have the large collection cup there, and we have a smaller collection cup here, both wrapped in the bamboo reusable drawstring bags. So these are nice. You get a whole bunch of different sizes with these bags. I really like that a lot. Now the difference between these collection cups is that they are larger than the NAMA J2 collection cups because this motor is taller. So here's the thing, guys. If you guys are a major bulk juicer and want to juice a lot of bulk, actually, I would recommend the NAMA C2. If you're an occasional bulk juicer, not going to bulk juice a lot, get the J2. Why? Because these pulp containers hold more liquid, and also I found other containers that could fit, like I think a whole 5 quarts to catch the juice versus I can only hold 2 quarts in glass under the J2. So that's why I really prefer the new model, the C2, over the J2. So here is everything that is included with the NAMA C2 juicer blender combo. Once again, the chamber set, the blender carafe, the power cord, the coarse juicing screen with larger holes for more pulp, the sorbet screen, you have your juice catch container, your pulp catch container, you have your tamper, and of course you also have the juice and nut milk sorbet book, you have the getting started guide, the smoothies, soup, and sauces book, as well as the instruction manual. This is quite a setup for the NAMA C2 juicer blender combo. Now the other thing I want to mention is that when this is being initially released, right now as this video is being thrown up, and I'm the first to share this with the world on my YouTube channel, and when this is initially released, it's only going to be in the USA model for 120 volts. That being said, I hope in the future NAMA will release it in other countries. That being said, you guys can order the NAMA J2 juicer in other countries around the world. There is a 220 volt version for you guys, and NAMA will ship to you from the USA to many other countries, and they just recently reduced the shipping rates. Sometimes as low as 20 to 30 euros to Europe, maybe like 20, 30 bucks to Canada. So they've really reduced the price of the machine. And of course, the NAMA J2 as well as its C2, the main claim to fame is the 15-year warranty. Guys, if you guys are buying a slow juicer, right? Many slow juicers might only have a 2-year parts warranty. The NAMA J2 has a full 15-year warranty on the parts and the motor base. But once again, NAMA has raised the bar on the whole industry, and up the game, because not only does the C2 juicing parts, including the juicer parts and the base, have a full 15-year warranty, but the blender parts also have a full 15-year warranty. I can't think of another blender that has a 15-year warranty. Even the big boys, you know, Blendtec and Vitamix, I think they max go up to maybe 7, 8 years. I don't know, maybe 10 if you're lucky. But this has a 15-year warranty. So like, you guys buy this and you are done. This machine also is very high quality, made in South Korea. So next I want to show you guys how to use the different components, because this machine is auto sensing. Once you put the components on there, it knows if you're putting the blender on there, it knows if you're putting the juicer parts on there, and it'll work accordingly. So first, let's get set up for blending. Since that's a lot easier, we just take the blender carafe, put it on top, and now we're all ready and set up to blend. So you guys can see there's a little chart here that comes on top of the motor that shows you guys basically how to use it. It has a main control knob, and when you basically have nothing on here, it basically just has some little lights flashing around. The button or the knob doesn't do anything. There's a center position for the off. Once you put the blender on there, it'll come up and it'll say blend, and it'll flash 0, so it's waiting for you to select something. So you have a couple different controls. You have an auto clean function, you have a mill, you have a soup, you have a ice crush, and a smoothie function. Once again, these are fully automatic functions, much like the juicer is fully automatic, because you could load it, turn it on, walk away. The juicer function will run for up to 30 minutes, and then after 30 minutes, it'll stop itself, so it can take a little breather. And then actually on the blender, it can run for a full 7 minutes straight, and that's if you're running the soup function, which I'll be showing you guys in a minute how we could actually make a hot, piping hot soup in the Nama C2 juicer blender combo. Of course, you do have manual controls. Should you just want to control the speed manually, you're going to turn it to this side and press the button here to start it up, and turn it to the middle to stop. And you have the pre-programmed functions. You can set it to the different function you want, like the auto cleaning, press the start. To the soup function, runs for 7.5 minutes, or the different functions for the smoothies and whatnot. Now, what the functions do is that they will vary the speed. So the Nama team has designed optimally the speed intensity. So like for a smoothie, you want to start out at a low RPM, then it may ramp up to high, and then kind of may slow down a little bit to kind of draw things into the blender, and then ramp it up to high, and then continue on high for the rest of the smoothie to make sure you have a nice smooth texture on your smoothie, so you don't got to sit there like the old-fashioned blenders and screw with the control to get the right smoothie. They've done all the hard work for you to find the perfect program for all these automatic presets, so you guys can be making smoothies and things like soups even easier. So the Nama C2 is being released in 2 colors. This is the white that I showed you guys a complete unboxing, but of course I also have the black model because I want to show you guys what that looks like. Let's go ahead and pull out the motor base right here. Now this is the black motor base. You could order either the white or the black. Only one motor base comes when you guys buy the setup. But I wanted to show you guys this motor base because I'm going to set this motor base up for juicing. Of course, the normal thing you would do is you'd take the white motor base and set up the juicing parts on top of that so you could juice with the white color. But I want to set this up to show you guys that you could do 2-in-1. So this, you could do a blender or you could do a juicer on either base, whichever color you guys choose. So we're just going to go ahead and set this up on top of the base there and set this up on the base here. So you guys can see, once again, the same base works with the juicer parts or the blender parts. Now how we set it up for juicing, of course, is you're going to want to have the juice catch cup with the handle under this side. This is where the juice comes out, where you have the pulp flap to open and close. And then you have the pulp container over on this side, which is a lot taller to catch the pulp. On the inside, it comes pre-assembled with the fine hole juicing screen, which honestly, I use it like 99% of the time. It's a rare day that I will use the Coarse hole screen, although sometimes I will use the Sorbet Attachment. And let me show you guys how to change these out. I'll probably show you guys how to do it on the Sorbet Attachment since I use it more. So to change it out, really simple. You want to make sure, number one, you want to take the machine apart. The cool thing about the C2 is that they now made it so you can assemble all the parts on top of the C2. So the first part you have is the juicing bowl. You're going to put that in there. So we're going to go ahead and drop in the Sorbet Attachment. has a large half circle and a small half circle. You just gotta line them up at the top. No wiping blade is needed for the sorbet attachment. We're gonna then take the auger, drop that in there. You may have to turn it a little bit to make sure it drops in and completely drops to the bottom. Then we're gonna go ahead and put the hopper on the top. And once again, we're gonna line up this top with the back and the handle with the front and just offset it to the side and lock it in place. Now, once this is assembled on top of the unit, you cannot take it apart unless you remove it off the unit to take it apart. But that's how easy it is to set up the Nama C3 juicer for sorbets. So what do you guys think? Do you guys like that nice white color, or do you prefer the black color C2 machine? Now, what I want to tell you guys next is that my name is John Kohler and I run a company, Discount Juicers. I've had this company for 25 years now as of the filming of this. I've been making videos online for 15 years now, and I've been juicing and blending myself for the last 28 years. It helped keep me young and healthy, and I want that for you guys too. And I don't want you guys to lose out on the all-new C2 juicer. When Nama originally introduced the Nama J2 juicer, it sold out in under a month, and I don't want that to happen to you. You guys are thinking, man, I should get one of these, John. Yes, you should, because they will sell out. I can't guarantee that, but the J2 sold out, and I'm highly possible that the C2 is probably going to sell out as well. And of course, my name being Discount Juicers, I always want to get you guys the biggest discount on the appliances that I'm showing you guys. So I've set up a special coupon code with Nama to save you guys 10% off the C2, and trust me, that is a chunk of change, guys. You guys can use the coupon code COMBO10 to save 10% off the combo Nama C2 blender, or you can convert it into a juicer. You only get one motor base, and you get the parts to convert to do either function, and I'll be showing you guys those functions in a little bit. Now, you know, aside from me saving you guys 10% off when you guys use that coupon code COMBO10, you guys are also helping me out, because when you guys use that coupon code, Nama shares with me a small commission so I can continue to make these educational videos for you guys, share with you guys all my juicing knowledge, all my juicing tips, buy my produce, pay my video editor, pay my light bill. So I appreciate you guys so much for using my coupon code instead of other people, because I tell you guys the truth, and I'll be comparing the Nama C2 against the Vitamix. I'll be comparing the Nama C2 juicer components against other juicers out there so you guys could learn the differences. I've already compared the J2 against all the other major brand juicers so you guys could see how it's going to perform. And what I'm going to tell you guys is basically the C2 is going to perform just like the J2 when doing the juicing function. That being said, I have not tested the blending function all that much in the C2 yet, so I'll be focusing on making many videos in the future comparing the C2 against other blenders on the market. My preliminary testing is showing me that it is a solid performer and at least pretty much the same performance as other high-end blenders out there. But of course you have the edge because now you could also do the juicing. And also, more importantly, you have a full 15-year warranty, which is the longest warranty on the juicers or any blender out there. Plus, of course, the machine is backed up by Enamel, who has some of the best customer service in the United States. So what's really better, blending or juicing? And here's the thing, guys, I've learned after, eating a plant-forward diet for the last 28 years. I'm gonna tell you guys this honestly, and looking up thousands of research published studies on nutrition and these topics, I will clearly say that depending on your specific needs, juicing or blending may be better for you. And I'm not the one to tell you guys that you should juice or you should blend. What I will tell you guys is that each one has its own sets of pros and cons. There's reasons why juicing is amazing. There's reasons why blending is amazing, right? And I want to share with you guys my top reasons why you might want to juice. So the reason why I love juicing, and I personally love juicing a little bit more than blending, is because juicing allows me to concentrate my nutrition. The quality of the food in the United States and around the world through industrial farming is going down. There's less minerals and nutrients in food today than there was in the 1950s, and this is shown by USDA data. So what better way to concentrate and get more nutrition into you than by juicing? You could take 5 pounds of carrots, And in the blender, you would have 5 pounds of blended carrot mush or baby food. In the juicer, you would basically get about 5 cups of juice. Now you basically extracted the majority of the nutrition out of the carrots into a glass, then you could drink and now get pretty much equivalent of 5 pounds of some of the major nutrients in the carrots, such as the beta carotene, the carotenoids, and vitamins into you. Another reason why I love juicing so much is because a lot of people may have impaired digestive systems. After eating the improper foods, the fast foods, the junk foods, you've wrecked your digestive system. You can't digest things that well. You don't handle fiber that well. And that's where the juicer comes in. By removing some of the fiber, you remove the insoluble fiber, but you keep the soluble fiber. For example, in carrots, there's about 50% soluble, 50% insoluble fiber, right? You could drink the juice. You're still getting a good portion of the fiber depending on the fruit or vegetable you guys are juicing. Of course, if you're juicing pineapples, one of the worst things to juice in my opinion, they're actually better blended in my opinion, you're only keeping 10% of the soluble fiber. So I encourage you guys to, juice vegetables that generally contain more soluble fiber than the fruits. Now, the other reason why I love the juicing is because once you put it into a juice form, published studies have shown that you could get higher levels of some of the nutrients, such as in carrots when they did a test with the beta carotene. The beta carotene gets into your blood a lot more quickly when they're doing a study with breast cancer survivors. Got into their blood more quickly, and they had higher levels of the beta carotene that may be helpful to prevent against different diseases out there, right? If you just blend things up, right, you're going to oxidize the nutrients, and and the fibers can hinder some of the absorption of the nutrients. So fibers in this respect may not be a good thing. That being said, of course, one of the big cons of juicing is that you have to use more produce to make less of the food. So I have to use 5 pounds of carrots to make 5 cups of juice, and you're throwing away the pulp that comes out, or hopefully you're composting it or feeding it to your chickens, or using it in a soup stock base, or even feeding it to your pets. So switching over to the blender, why is a blender good, right? Well, the blender is good because if you're on a budget, you don't have a lot of money, you can't be wasting a lot of produce to make some juice and throwing away a lot of the pulp. When you put something in the blender, you're going to get 100% utilization because it all goes into. Now, yes, some of the nutrients may be better absorbed, some are maybe not as good absorbed, but the other thing with blending is that you're going to keep all the food value, including the soluble and insoluble fiber. That being said, both the juicer and blender will basically, change the fiber in the food, and it'll probably react differently in your body than just chewing the food up whole alone. So for that reason, I recommend getting fiber in different methods. In the juicing, where you're keeping more of the soluble, removing the insoluble. Blending, where you're fractioning the fiber up into smaller pieces. And even, of course, just chew your fiber sometimes. Chew fruits and vegetables. Eat your fruits. Make a salad every day. This way, you're spreading you're getting all your bases covered, because you're giving your body all the different foods in different ways that can affect absorption differently, as well as your microbiome differently as well. Now, of course, the blender, because you are keeping more of the fiber, you're going to stay fuller longer than with the juice, because the juice because it is in a liquid form, it's digests so quickly, it kind of moves out you more quickly. I would say, to me, juicing is definitely more hydrating than a smoothie with all the fiber, because I'm literally getting just juice, natured, structured water juice from the fruits and vegetables with the different vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients. For me, the blender, because it has a lot more texture, is not quite as hydrating. So if I'm on a hot summer day, I might make a smoothie sometimes, but I'm usually drinking juice myself. That being said, what I will say is this also, my personal opinion is that you should be juicing your vegetables, especially your leafy green vegetables, because how many of you guys honestly eat kale on a regular basis, or eat spinach, or even eat lettuce, right? That's what I love the juice in the juicer, so I could ramp up my consumption of these leafy green vegetables, which are the healthiest foods in the entire planet, which most people do not eat enough of. After that, of course, the leafy greens, I also encourage you guys to juice the vegetables, right? Things like cucumbers and celery, kohlrabi, beets, turnips. All these foods are excellent sources of nutrition, but unfortunately, Americans especially don't eat enough vegetables in a day to even get the minimum requirements, the minimum servings a day. And that's where juicing can help you supersize your servings of the vegetables. Now, while you can juice fruits, and while many people do juice fruits fruits aren't the number one thing I think about juicing in the juicer. I think about juicing the vegetables. Now, why would I think this? I would think this because the vegetables are hard to digest. You know, a carrot is hard to digest. We don't absorb a lot of nutrition if we eat them raw. That's why it's good to juice them. Maybe if you cook them, you could also blow open cell walls and get better absorption of the beta carotene that way. But by juicing them, we could get better absorption of the beta carotene. And you know, because vegetables have thick cell walls, that's where the juicer comes in a mechanical way to help pre-digest our vegetables for us. When you are putting fruits through the juicer, that's when now you're removing some of the fiber, which, you know, may be good for blood sugar control. So that's why I'm not a big fan of juicing the fruits. But take it to the flip side. That's where I agree the blender is superior to processed fruits. Fruits, especially if they're soft, are not well juiced. The pulp is going to come out really wet. The juice is going to come out really pulpy if you have softer fruits. And that's where blending is the dream tool, because softer fruits, guys, you don't need to juice them. You don't need to liberate the nutrients out of the soft fruit walls. Actually, if your fruits are soft, I recommend eating them instead of over blending them. But my preference is number one, eating them. Number two, blending them. And if I got to, I will juice them. You know, so that's how these tools are both different and they're both needed. I encourage you guys to do both juicing and blending. And of course, we can't forget that blending will allow you to do a lot more than just make a smoothie. You know, I make nut butters in the blender. I make soups in the blender a lot. We'll be demonstrating in a little bit. I also make my own fresh sauces and salad dressings in the blender as well. You know, for my salads, I don't buy pre-made salad dressing. I'll just take some orange juice made in the juicer, blend it with some macadamia nuts or some cashews, put it in the blender, cream the nuts up into a nice creamy sauce, and have an instant salad dressing. So by mirroring the slow juicer and the blender, you guys are getting the best of both worlds. And that's why I believe you guys should get the C2. So now you guys have the option of doing blending or juicing, and you don't have to choose a side. When you feel like a blended smoothie, make a blended smoothie. When you feel like a juice, make a juice, because the C2 can do it all. So before we get into juicing, I just wanted to show you guys a comparison between the Nama J2 and the C2 machine. As you guys can see, the C2 is a fair bit taller than the J2, right? Because the motor is a more powerful motor, because it has to work the blender and run at a higher speed. The base had to be bigger. It also has to have the controls to run the blender or the juicer. So the motor base is a lot bigger than the Nama J2, right? If you guys are into like how aesthetics and how it looks, I honestly think that the J2 is a much more sexy of a machine with the knob, and it's basically straight up. Whereas this, you guys are just looking at it in one dimensional. You guys are seeing it straight up, and yes, it's taller, but it's basically a bigger box on the bottom. So let's go ahead and, you're seeing the front view. Let's go ahead and show you guys the side view here. So that's the side view of the J2. It's pretty much a rectangle or a square footprint. And if we change this angle of this, you guys could see, man, that's a lot larger. So like if we just put this as a side shot, you guys could see the backs are lined up now, and you guys could see we have about this much more on the C2. So it's a little bit, you know, rectangular instead of square for the footprint. Also, it's a fair bit taller. This will not fit under your countertops, which is one of its downsides. And while I did mention before that the juicing parts are basically identical and work the same exact way, you guys can see these are the same. The hoppers are identical. The main motor body is a little bit different because it has to set on this top versus this top, and it has a little bit different shape of the top. In addition, the splines where the motor come up, they're different. So the auger and the bowl is different, but all the other parts, including juicing screen, wiping blade, hopper, and lid, are all interchangeable between these two. I've done extensive testing of the J2, more than anybody else online, and I've also done extensive testing on the C2, and based on my comparisons off camera, they work identically. That being said, what is different about the C2 than the J2, once again, is the height. So because this is taller, this allows you to put a larger pitcher underneath here to catch the pulp, and a pitcher underneath here to catch the juice, as well as on the J2. You know, you could put a smaller catch cups. So another thing I noticed difference between these two machines, while they both run at 50 revolutions per minute, I do find that the motor on the large unit just seems a bit more, I mean, I don't want to say powerful, but I think it is powerful because they gotta have a bigger motor that's actually also heavier than the J2. So the J2 is easier to pick up and move, whereas this is a lot heavier. So, I mean, I guess that's a pro too, because once you put this on the counter, you're probably not gonna even move it. So you're gonna just leave this motor base on the counter, so you could always have the blender top or the juicer top on it. Whereas with the J2, you may put this away because you pretty much don't want to be moving this motor base. And because it is on your counter, maybe you will end up using it more. So of course, another advantage of the C2 is that it has a smaller footprint on your counter than having both a juicer and a blender on your counter, which is something I've had in my kitchen for many years now, but now the C2 takes its place. So we're just gonna basically swap these on the image so you guys could see the space savings between the C2 or a blender and juicer. So what did you guys think so far, right? The C2 will not only save you guys space in your kitchen, but also get you to juice and blend more because it's a 2-in-1 appliance. It's also gonna last a long time with a full 15-year warranty on the full motor base, all the juicer parts, as well as the blender parts. It's also BPA free, and it is hassle-free juicing and blending. Literally, you could load up the juicer, turn it on, walk away, it'll juice while you're doing other things. And the same function with the blender. You can set it to the automatic function for a smoothie or a soup. Press the start button, it's gonna blend, it's gonna make all its noise. You could be out of the room, and when you come back, you're gonna have your smoothie or soup ready for you guys. And you know, other blenders and juicers do not have this capability. And as I said, this is the first slow juicer and blender in the United States. So that is impressive. So thank you, Nama, for coming out with this so I could have one less appliance on my kitchen counter. Next up, I want to go ahead and juice for you guys and then also blend for you guys in the C2 to share with you guys how it works. So now I want to show you guys how the C2 combo juicer blender works when doing the juicing function. So once you put the juicer parts on top, it'll say juice, it'll flash 0:00. You have two things to do. When you're in the juice mode function, you can turn it to the on position, and then you just press the start button, and the machine will come on. Once again, this runs at a low and slow 50 revolutions per minute, and in my test, when I did decibel testing, it was about 64 decibels. And then we could go ahead and turn it off. To me, that sounds a bit more beefier than the Nama J2, like it's a bit more solid. And then if you need to reverse on this, you just flip this to the other side to where it says reverse, and you hold down the start stop button momentarily, and that'll basically reverse it for you if there should be any clogs or jams or the machine stops because you've overloaded it. We're going to go ahead and turn it to the off position, turn it back to the juice function. And once again, when you hit the start button, there'll be a count up timer. So this is timing how long you have been juicing. Okay, so today I'll be juicing a mixture of carrots, tomato, and Asian pears that I'll be actually using to make a coconut curry soup in a minute. So let's go ahead and just load up the hopper. We're going to go ahead and put all our ingredients. I encourage you guys to, while you can put them in whole, you can, cut them up so you could actually fit more in the hopper. When I fill up the hopper to the max, if I'm doing fruits, I could basically make about 32 ounces of juice in one fall swoop. When I do all vegetables, I make about 24 ounces of juice. So let's go ahead and load this up and see how much juice I make loading the hopper up only once. So as you guys can see, I filled up the hopper with all the produce. It fit in there. Now they have a recommended fill line, which you should probably only fill 2. That being said, I'm a guy, I don't pay attention to fill lines. So I always fill it a bit higher than the line. And so let's go ahead and turn the machine on. It's in the on position. We're just gonna go ahead and hit the start button. And as you guys can see, it is now juicing up our produce. The amazing thing about the C2, like the J2, is that I could leave the room. We're going to go ahead and leave the room and let the machine work while I'm not even here. Alright, so as you guys can see, the Nama C2 juicer works just like the J2. It juiced all the produce that was sitting in the hopper without me even being here. This allows you to do things that are more important, you guys, in your life than sit there and push each produce item in to the juicer. So now we can stop the machine by pressing the stop button once, it tells me that I was juicing for 3 minutes and 12 seconds. So I really like that it has a built-in timer to let me know how long it took to juice, right? So you could come back in about 3 minutes, you'll be done. And you guys can see we have clearly pretty much about 700 milliliters of juice. I'm going to estimate that to be about 24 ounces of juice. Now, of course, I always like to tip the machine up. The other thing I will recommend to you guys when juicing is you always want to have this spout cap open. Some people like to keep it closed and have juice accumulate inside here. That's not a good idea because if you're juicing fruits, this can get full too much. In addition, when you guys are spinning the juice around inside there, it's aerating it more. You're going to lower the nutrition. And also, the juicer is trying to juice while it's swimming around in, wet juice inside. So I've noticed the pulp is a little bit wetter as well. Although everybody likes how it looks when you open it up and all the juice rushes out. I hate that because that's when it spills more. So now that we're done juicing and I made my juice, I want to show you guys how you can auto clean the Nama C2 juicer. I do this on the J2. I'm the only guy that shows this on the J2, and I'm probably the only guy that shows you guys how to do this on the C2 as well. Nama has been built so that you could just fill it up with water and it will not leak out of the seams like some other juicers will. So while it will juice for you guys automatically, it'll automatically self-clean itself to some extent to make your job of cleaning it much easier. So how to do that is you're going to go ahead and take 2 squirts out of my dish soap into warm water, about 24 ounces. So this kind of like got some bubbles in there. Next thing is we're going to go ahead and close that spout cap. Very important. We're going to go ahead then and open up the lid. And we're going to just try to pour the water, and I try to like pour it on the sides to get the sides, to kind of wash that down and get some of the particulate on the sides washed down a little bit. And as you guys can see, there's a lot of water in the hopper. It's not quite all moving down yet. Next step is we're going to go ahead and put this underneath where the juice comes out. We're going to close this, and then we're just going to go ahead and turn it on. We're going to press it on. It's going to start up, and what's going to happen is that this hopper is going to start to feed in the water, the soapy water in the bottom, and this is slowly filling this up. The auger is spinning around, the wiping blade is spinning all the soapy water around. It's slowly going in, and literally this is basically, putting soapy water through all the different parts to help clean itself for you so that you guys don't have to clean as much. So we're just going to go ahead and let this run a few minutes until all the soapy water off the top ends up going into the bottom and it's agitated a bunch. You may see some of the pulp stop, moving out a little bit more pulp will flow out. But the most important thing is you want to let this kind of rotate around a little bit because, now the machine is doing all this kind of scrubbing for you guys so you guys could do less scrubbing in the end. All right, so after it's been running a bit, you could then open this up slowly. And I just kind of like let it come out a little bit at a time. Kind of keeps everything agitated, and then we could open it up all the way and let it drain out all the way. All right, once all the water stopped running out, you can go ahead and hit the stop button. We're at about a minute for that cycle. And as you guys can see, we basically got all the soapy water out that is now like an orange pigmented color, right? This is stuff you normally have to wash down your sink. And now I want to show you guys actually what you'll have to clean on the C2. Once again, you can take off this top lid. That's pretty much clean. Just rinse that off. You go ahead and then take off the hopper. That's fairly clean as well. Not much left in there. A little bit of residue and soap bubbles on the bottom of the hopper. Next coming out, we got the auger. Look at that auger, guys. It's almost pretty much clean. All the carrot debris are pretty much gone. There may be a little bit underneath on the bottom. And I want to let you guys know, since we're looking at this now, if you guys could see, the auger is kind of like a black color, but if you look at the sheet on it, it's like magenta. So some people freak out. John, my auger's discoloring. Some people will say, my auger is peeling. Well, what happened is the carotenoids of the carrots, right, kind of stained your auger. So to remove this, you're basically going to scrub it with soap and water. We got it pre-soap, so if you just scrub it with the brush, included brush, right after you're done, this will come off. If you just rinse it with water, it's not going to come off, and then it may build up over time. So yeah, this one's already pretty much clean already. And we take out the juicing screen, which is going to have the most impacted pulp. You guys can see the outside of the juicing screen. It's pretty much clean, guys. Maybe a little bit of pulp debris. Of course, on the inside, there's a little bit of pulp debris that you could just spray off with your sink sprayer, brush it down a little bit, and you're done. Of course, you have the wiping blade, which is all fairly easy to clean as well. And then you have the main juicing bowl that has a little bit of residual pulp inside there. And we could flip out this little piece, which makes it a lot easier to clean than other juicers, and basically clear all the pulp out of here. And then we could be, done cleaning this unit. I think at this point, it'd take me about 3 minutes to clean it. So, this is one of the easiest juicers to clean, especially after using the auto clean function. So not only can you automatically juice, but it'll automatically clean itself to some extent to make your job cleaning it a little bit easier when you're done. So now I want to show you guys how to blend in the Nama C2 juicer blender combo. Before I blend, I want to point out actually that unlike many cheap blenders, this has actually a metal coupling to metal coupling, right? Nice and solid, heavy duty. Now when you set the blender carafe up on top of the unit, it'll say blend and it'll flash 000 to let you know to select the automatic program or do the manual function, including a pulse. You could just do by pressing the middle button, holding it down and letting it go to do the pulse function. Well, you can make any kind of different smoothie, sauces, or soups, grind up grains, make nut butters, any way you would use a normal blender. You could also do that in the C2. But the cool thing is because the C2 is a convertible juicer and blender, I'm going to take the juice that I just made and turn it into a soup. Most soups would use a water base or a vegetable broth base that has very little nutrition and has a lot of water. I'm using the juice as the base because that's the most nutritious way to get water in me. It is structured water. It contains different kinds of carotenoids and vitamins and minerals that is now going to make my soup even more nutrient dense, even healthier, and definitely even more flavorful as well, because instead of using water that has no flavor, now you got to add all these extra spices and things in to make it taste good, right? The juice has an amazing flavor. We got the Asian pears in there for a little bit of sweetness. We got the nice hardiness of the carrots as well as the savoriness of the tomatoes. But once again, if you guys are making a smoothie, for example, you could juice oranges and then use the orange juice and blend that with some greens and some pineapple, for example. You could juice cucumbers and get a cucumber juice and use that as the base of your salad dressing by putting cucumbers, some different kind of herbs and spices, some cashews in there, and make a salad dressing based around cucumber juice. That's why I really love the Nama C2. It allows you to become creative and think in ways that you never would have done before, all because it is a juicer and blender all in one. So to make this recipe, we're going to go ahead and take off the top and we're going to load up our blender carafe. First, we're going to go ahead and put in the juice. We have actually, after settling, it's approximately 25 ounces of juice in there. Next up, we're going to go ahead and drop in 2 steamed red potatoes. That's going to add a nice texture to the soup without adding any significant amount of fat, and also some good resistant starch and fiber as well. Next up, we're not going to have a coconut curry soup without having some young coconut meat, so I got the flesh of 2 young coconuts. We're just going to go ahead and drop in there. Next up, we got to get some flavors in there, so I have basically a small sweet onion, very important sweet onion. That's not like a regular onion that's not super strong tasting. We got 1 little hot pepper in there. We got some kind of a turmeric in there, as well as some garlic, whole garlic, and some whole little small piece of ginger in there. Next up, for the curry flavor, of course, we got the curry seasoning right there. I like the Frontier brand organic curry seasoning. And then to offset the curry, I like to add in 5 pitted dates right in there. And of course, to take it over the top, get a little bit of savory, salty flavor, we got some authentic Japanese fermented soy sauce going right in. I think this stuff's like fermented like 3 years, not too much. Make it taste real good. And then we're just gonna go ahead and make sure our blender top is locked into place and our little lid in the middle is totally locked in and it's loaded, and we're gonna go ahead and turn the machine on. So all we need to do, because once again, this is an automatic blender like it's an automatic juicer. We got the different pre-programmed time functions, including smoothie, ice crush, soup, mill for grinding grains, and of course the auto clean function that we'll be using after this. In this case, we're going to go ahead and make the soup. The soup will basically run for 7.5 minutes straight. This is torture to a regular blender. A matter of fact, most home blenders can't even run 7 minutes without overheating, right? This has been designed to run 7.5 minutes without any problem with its heavy-duty 200-watt motor with nice amount of torque and up to 26,500 RPMs. During the 7.5 minutes, it will basically vary the speeds to basically make soup of the perfect consistency, and to ensure that it actually heats up the soup, I got my temperature gun to make sure we get a nice hot soup after we're done blending. And of course, in the instruction books that come with the blender, you know, they have different soup recipes you guys could make. So anyways, let's go ahead and get this started, and we're going to just go ahead and fast forward this and show you guys the end result. And I'm going to actually get up and leave the room and let the machine work and do all the work without me. All right, there you go. The blender ran a full 7.5 minutes. It started at 7.5 minutes and it counted down to 0, and now it's blinking 0, 0, 0 because it is all finished. And it did an amazing job of emulsifying, and it is actually quite warm. I will say the blender top here is warmer than the motor base here. Motor base is actually quite cool. Let's go ahead and take this off the top and take a look at what we got. And you guys see the steam? Look at the steam coming off that, guys. I don't know if you guys see that on the camera, but I definitely see the steam coming off. Oh my gosh. That transformed the juice into an amazing coconut curry. Guys, this smells so good. I can't wait to eat it. Oh my gosh. All right, let's go ahead and pour this out into a nice bowl. Look at that nice thick mixture, guys. You guys can hopefully see the steam coming off, right? Insanity right here. We're gonna check it with my instant infrared thermometer there. Oh my gosh, guys, it's piping hot. It's 136, 135, 134 degrees. 134.5 is what we stabilized at, man. At 134 degrees, it's a little bit too piping hot for your tongue. It'll probably burn your tongue. Let me see if I could eat a little bit. Man, this is a nice thick soup, guys. The starch and the potatoes really firmed up really nice. The coconut added the creaminess. This just smells so delicious. We're just going to go ahead and try a little bit of this on camera for you guys. Oh my gosh. That's insanity. That is so good. Better than any canned soup that I ever bought. And I made it myself, right? And you guys can make it too yourself as well with the C2 that allows you to not only juice and get your soup base, right? I've been doing this forever using usually bell peppers as my soup base, right? Turn it into a nice hot, piping hot soup for you guys to enjoy. Now, this, you could eat this straight, but what I'll probably do is I'll take some zucchini, spiralize it. I'll cut up some, slice up parsley and different kinds of put some beans in here and add in cut up vegetables to give it some nice texture. So guys, that's one piping hot soup made completely using the C2, using the juicer and the blender function to make one nutrient dense soup that tastes amazing and it's still even steaming. And it's so good. All right, guys, so I just got done spatulaing out all my delicious soup into a jar so I could eat one now and batch prep and store this for later eating. I wish that Nema would include some kind of optimally designed spatula to kind of scrape down the insides, because when you start making some good tasting food in here, you don't want to waste any little bit. I want to get it all. So yeah. But next I want to show you guys actually the auto clean function on the C2 blender, right? It's pretty much kind of like the C2 juicer function. In this case, we got 2 pumps of the dish soap with 32 ounces of water. We're just going to go ahead and pour that in the carafe. We're going to go ahead and then put the top on. Make sure we're locked into place. We're going to put the blender top on the unit. It turns up to blend. It's still on the soup cycle, so we're going to run it down to the clean cycle, which is actually only a minute. And we're going to go ahead and turn this on, and we're going to walk out of the room to let it auto clean without me. As you guys can see, it basically stopped itself. Let's see what we got. Let's go ahead and pour our dirty water out of the carafe and see what we got. All right, as you guys can see, that carafe is pretty clean. I mean, we'll still have to just basically wipe down the top and rinse it out a little bit. But as you guys can see, that carafe is pretty clean. Just a quick rinse off in the sink, and we'll be all ready to go. All right, so we got the blender all cleaned up. Just took a quick rinse in the sink and dried it off, and we're all ready to go once again. So I really love that it's an automatic juicer. It'll juice without you. The juicer will help clean itself automatically. You can blend without being here, made soup without me being here, and then it'll automatically clean itself in a minute. It basically varied the cycle so it would blend high and basically make all the liquid go up to the top, and then it would stop, and then it would do that a couple times. Man, they really designed this C2 juicer really well. So the one feature they didn't add to the C2 upon initial release is the ability to do the vacuum blending. And if you guys know, when I juice, I love to store my juices under vacuum, so that's what I'm gonna do with the soup for you guys today. And so we got these special vacuum lids with this special vacuum pump that we put the lid on, and we pump out the extra oxygen. And because we didn't vacuum blend, there's a lot of dissolved oxygen in here, so we pulled the oxygen out. We could tap it down. It'll force the bubbles to the top, and then we could basically pump it again. We just got done pumping all the extra oxygen out of the soup we made to store it if you're doing batch prep. Of course, you could also check my link down below to my Batch Juicing 101, where I talk about all my tips for making juice in batches and making enough for a week in an hour or two on a weekend day, and then storing them under vacuum so you could drink one a day. Now, the one feature that I wish they put into the C2 upon release was that it would vacuum blend. At this time, Nama does not have the ability to do any kind of vacuum blending, although I did hear that they're investigating further making an attachment for the C2 to vacuum blend, and I hope they come out with that sooner rather than later. That being said, because I'm crafty, I figured out a way that you could kind of vacuum blend in this machine using the standard carafe and their lid. It actually has a nice seal that's pretty airtight, and we're gonna remove this center lid here, the cap, and then you're gonna go ahead and buy this vacuum adapter by Zwilling online, and this is actually made for their blender. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take that adapter, we're gonna put it on the top, and you wanna make sure that your gasket is fully in place and it's in there properly. If it's not seated properly, this definitely won't work. You're gonna then take the vacuum pump, and this part at present time costs about 10 bucks. And you're just gonna pump this up by hand. You may be able to find an electric pump that works, but I'm just using the manual pump. Manual pumps can pull a lot more air a lot faster than an electric pump. And as you guys can see, it's holding the seal pretty good. And let's go ahead and let the vacuum out. It definitely left the vacuum in there. I'm not so sure how well this is gonna seal, or if it'll stay sealed over time, because we have a nice flat gasket to a textured surface on the top. So yeah, do with this information what you will. Nama will not void your warranty for using this lid or for pulling a vacuum with a pump. I already have confirmed that with them. I hope to have another video where I discuss vacuum blending in the C2 on my other YouTube channel. Link down below to that. If you guys are interested in buying this attachment or the vacuum pump and the lid to store your juices or even smoothies or blenders under vacuum, link is down below to my Amazon shop. So there you guys have it. That's my unboxing video for the Nama C2 Juicer Blender Combo. Once again, comes in the color white or black. And once again, you guys get the blender top and the juicer top, so you could switch these, interswitch them, whichever one you want, you know. If you want to buy the white one, that's what it's going to look like. If you want to get the black one, that's what it's going to look like as well. I think this is ingenious on behalf of Nama to come out with a juicer blender combo, so no longer do people need to worry about Should I juice or should I blend? Now the NAMA C2 makes it easy so you guys can get the benefits of both worlds, the benefits of juicing and the benefits of blending. The versatility to do juices, sorbets, and nut butters and nut milks in the juicer attachment, and the ability to make sauces, warm soups, nut butters, frozen fruit sorbets, banana ice cream, different kinds of sauces and dressings, and even smoothies with the blender attachment. To me, the NAMA C2 is the #1 appliance you should own if you guys want to move into a plant-based diet or just go plant forward and get more plants in you. As the science comes out more and more, it's saying that we want to eat more fruits and vegetables, and by all means, at least get the minimum amounts of fruits and vegetables. 5 to 9 servings in a day is what the government tells us. Most people are not even doing that, and that's where these machines come in. Now, don't worry if you're a beginner and never juiced or blended before. That's another reason why you guys should buy the NAMA C2. Not only are you going to get the 2 recipe books, the instructions, and the quick start guide that comes with the NAMA C2 of a juicing 101 and blending 101 course that NAMA put together to educate the community about juicing and blending. I've gone through these different courses. We'll throw up some pictures on the screen right now to show you guys what some of this course work looks like, where you go through different modules. Each module may take you 5-10 minutes depending on how slow or fast you go. There's a little workbook that you could fill out. So you're actually going to learn. This is like a school class, but nobody's going to grade you, so that you guys can learn how to blend up smoothies, how to blend up juices, the nutritional advantages of blending, the nutritional advantages of juicing. And more importantly, if you guys are trying to move into a plant-forward diet, it has a 5-day and more importantly 14-day plant-forward diet that you could kind of jump into, because they give you all the menus. If you tried to hire a nutritional consultant or coach to do this, they're going to charge you a lot of money. But NAMA's put this together for about 2 hours to go through completely end to end if you take your time going through each of the modules, where you will learn from a certified nutritionalist as well as plant-based chef who basically formulated all the different recipes that you'll be eating on the meal plans. And this will get you healthier. And I mean, that's what really NAMA is about. NAMA wants to get people to eat more fruits and vegetables and other plant foods so that they could get healthier. The owner of NAMA, in fact, had to move into the plant-forward diet to better his health after ailing health from maybe not eating the healthiest foods. And he does not want that to happen to you. And that's why I'm so passionate today, because I moved into a plant-forward, plant-based diet 28 years ago now, and I'm still so passionate about sharing all my amazing creations, and more importantly, the tools that allow me to process the fruits and vegetables and get them into me. And I'm confident that if you guys buy this machine, not only will you have my favorite juicer, not only will you have one of the best blenders out there that are comparable to other high-end blenders, not only will you have the confidence that these machines will last with a full 15-year warranty from the motor to all the top parts, you will also have the education if you've never juiced or blended before, or never even started eating plants, or don't know how to start. NAMA is going to help you guys improve your diet so that you guys can get healthy, because that's the overall goal of the company. They're not just a company selling juicers, man. They are a lifestyle company. They're there with customer support to help you through any issues you may have with their juicer or blender or other appliances they sell throughout the full 15 years of warranty. So if you guys are considering buying the C2 juicer, I encourage you guys not to wait. Seriously, the J2 sold out, and it's high possibility, and I believe that the C2 will also sell out. So get yours now before they sell out. Once again, you guys want to use that coupon code, throw it up right there, combo 10. It'll save you guys a good chunk of change, 10% off the NAMA C2 juice. That's going to save you guys $80 off the juicer blender combo with the full 15-year warranty and all that educational information that comes with it. And if you guys were considering buying the NAMA J2 with the Sorbet attachment, that would cost you about only $200 less than the C2. So for $200 more, spending a little bit more, you guys can get the juicer and blender combo, plus all the education that the J2 does not come with. The juicing 101, the blending 101. So we're literally, in the end, you're only paying like $100 extra for this unit that will sit on your counter, takes less space than the juicer and blender if you had two separate appliances. And because it's gonna sit in your counter because you're not gonna move it, you're probably gonna use it more and get more health benefits. And of course, when you guys use the coupon code COMBO10, you guys are gonna save 80 bucks. And also, of course, Nama is gonna reward me by sharing with me a small commission so I can continue to make these educational videos for you guys. So I really appreciate you guys who will use my coupon code, because I work hard to make these recipes, to make all the ingredients, to do a demo, to explain from my expert knowledge that I've had using juicers and blenders over the last 28 years that you're not gonna hear on any other channel. So I want to hear from you guys. What did you guys think of the all-new Nama C2, I will call that convertible, juicer blender combo that you guys saw here first on my YouTube channel? How you could not only juice with it, automatically, not even babysitting it, it'll automatically clean itself to some extent when doing the juicing as well. We also turn that juice now into an amazing soup that my mouth is watering and I want to eat right after this video. You could also do the blending of the soups, the different smoothies. You could do sauces and all kinds of different recipes included in the different recipe books that come with it. What did you guys think? What did you guys like the most? What did you guys like the least? I really want to know. Post your comments down below. If you have any questions about the Nama C2 juicer, post those down below as well. I'll do my best to answer your guys' questions. You guys get your questions answered before you buy this amazing juicer blender combo. So if you guys enjoyed this video learning about the Nama C2 juicer blender combo, want me to do more videos in the future with it, hey, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. More importantly, share this with other people in your community so that they could learn about the C2 juicer blender that is truly a game changer, because now it allows you to juice and blend with one appliance with a full 15-year warranty, longer than other warranties on any other juicer blender combo in the United States. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on my new and upcoming episodes that come out every 5 to 7 days. You never know what new juicers or blenders I'll be testing, and I'll be sure to have some new videos coming out real soon on the Nama C2 where I compare it to the Vitamix, compare it to the original J2, and show you guys a lot of other things it can do. Make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as my new videos come out. And finally, be sure to share my past episodes. Our past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 700 episodes at this time on the channel dedicated to teach you guys all about the different juicers and blenders on the market today. I'll put links down below to some of my videos I've made in the past about the Nama J2 juicer. All of the capabilities of the C2 is identical to the J2 when doing the juicing functions, and it'll work just the same with the same amazing results. I guarantee that. So with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.